What's up, hobby friends, and welcome back to Paint Bravely, the podcast where you can find a little bit of encouragement, discover new ways to make your hobby more fun, and most importantly, learn to paint bravely. Well, at least most of the time. So this week, we've got a pretty fun podcast. We're just going to talk about some hobby stuff we've been doing, a little bit of things that we've noticed in, I guess, in the hobby in general, and some things that we've been painting and doing. So why don't we jump right into it? I was just telling Brent a minute ago how crap these intros are, like right after the actual scripted portion. Now he's laughing at me, and so I'm definitely handing it over to you now. So
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing.
Yes, you are. Laughing. Yes, you are.
I'm not laughing.
I see you. I can see you laughing.
All right. One of us has to save this. So, hot tip of the day, I have found the best plastic kit in existence. I'm going to put this out there. This is going to be the benchmark for best plastic kit. And then all you goobers can argue over, no, actually this kit is better. So, I had a little bit of help on this one. My friend old Ghost Bear turned me onto this one. But what we have here is the Frostgrave Wizards 2. So this is a kit that has two identical plastic sprues in it, but this single sprue is the best plastic kit that I have ever seen. Yeah. And look, I'm okay if people want to argue. That's what this is all about. But this is a solid benchmark. This is an A, and maybe there are some A pluses out there, but this is an A. Let me tell you about it. Now, if you're listening at home, I want you to close your eyes, unless you're driving an automobile or operating some heavy machinery. Close your eyes and imagine a polystyrene sprue with 4 figures on it. Now we've got legs connected to a body. They're wearing robes. These are wizards, right? But they've got their arms chopped off and they're missing their head. And now for all of these, it's a nice, clean, vertical cut right at the shoulder. So you can put all kinds of different arms on there. Just the nice, classic attachment point. Now this sprue, man, I'm having a hard time counting here, but it's got like 15 left arms, 15 right arms, and they've got every imaginable hand gesture. We got extended elbows, we got bent elbows, we've got hands holding bells, hands holding puppets, hands holding wands and staves, and a rune. We've got a hand holding a bottle. We've got a knife. So for 4 figures, we can give them, almost any kind of hands. But wait, there's more. There's like 20 different heads on this sprue. 20 different heads. Now this is the Wizards 2 sprue, which is the female wizards, the lady wizards. And so we've got just like 20 nice female heads in 28mm, maybe heroic scale. It's in there somewhere. And if I'm looking at this detail here, this is some of the sharpest detail that I've seen on a model kit. So I am here today to put this flag in the sand and make the claim that the Frostgrave Wizards 2 kit is the best plastic single sprue in existence. Now, some of you will say, hey, Brent, what about the Frostgrave Wizards 1 kit, the male wizards? Well, is that kit any good? To which I say, it just makes this kit better, because all those bits are interchangeable too. The male wizards, same thing. You got a sprue, 4 bodies, way too many excellent heads, way too many excellent left arms, way too many excellent right arms. Plus you got weird little bits. There's a cat on here. There's a cat. There's a cat on my table. There's a cat on this sprue. There's a rat on this sprue. We got scrolls. We got bags. We got what can either be painted up as liquor bottles or elixir bottles, potions. We got an hourglass. We got a wreath. We've got, oh man, that hand is holding a spell book. That's a good idea. We got a hand holding a sword. We got some bags. That's an owl. This sprue, not a huge sprue, but it is jam-packed full of goodness. It is interchangeable, Wizards 1, Wizards 2. And plus this Frostgrave, I haven't bought any more of the kits yet, but they've got knights, they've got soldiers, they've got demons. This is what a plastic sprue is all about. If you are looking for something fun to paint, or if you've got an RPG game coming up, maybe even a Frostgrave skirmish game, check it out. Give it a thought, Wizards. Frostgrave.
And that, my friends, is why I had to psych you out with that intro, because that hot tip was too hot to handle.
Too hot.
Yeah. Much like those wizard hands.
We need the fair weather fans to wander off by the time we got to this sweet hot tip.
Exactly.
Now the true fans will know the hotness.
They know the hotness of the wizards set from Frostgrave. I mean, it's definitely an A+ sprue. I think a lot of their sprues are. Like we were looking at some of the knights and some of the other kits, and like it almost doesn't even matter if it's like if you're not into wizards and you're like, oh, but I want like soldiers, just regular soldiers. Same thing. Oh, I want knights though. I want armor. Same thing. There's like 20 heads. 20, 30 heads, it's tons of heads, lots and lots of things, and I think those are really good sprues. Have you painted any of those though, or are you just like a sprue collector?
I haven't even finished assembling any, but I'm close. But anyway, this is from Osprey Publishing, North Star Military Figures. I was actually looking for a date on here. I mean, this kit has been around for a few years. This is not new. This is not breaking news here, but
I know, right?
my pal Ghost Bear Jeremy let me know that I should eventually buy this kit. I finally did. I wish I'd done it sooner. Yeah, right. That's.
I do know that you can pretty much get at least that particular Wizards kit for like $26.
Yeah.
And then most of the other ones are like $10. They're like $10.
So this kit came with 2 sprues in the box, so a total of 8 characters and a ton of awesome bits, a ton of bits. So I am very happy with this purchase. Extremely affordable sprue, a lot of options. This is what plastic mini making is all about in my eyes.
Now we just have to play Frostgrave.
I mean, eventually, I'm sure it'll happen. Sure
it'll happen.
Yeah,
I've heard it's fun.
We'll get right on that. Oh
man, so like, what was it? A couple days ago, like I busted out my Warcry set. I was thinking like, man, I'm gonna play some Warcry. I'm gonna play a skirmish game, right? Like thinking about it, looking at models, doing all this stuff. I got everything out. I set everything up. I even organized like stuff. I put new dice in the box that I got from Adepticon. It's like all this stuff. Like I set everything up. I put a couple armies down, and then I was just like, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. I put it all back. I just packed it back up. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah. That's the thing. You need friends, Casey. That's the trick. I
have some friends.
Look, that's the great tragedy of finally sort of being ready for a game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's when you realize you don't have enough friends.
Right. I mean, partially I had to take it down because like I had to set this table up for recording this podcast. So it's a little bit like, I guess I could have left it on the table. Well, that would have been interesting. It's like in the video portion, just have that set up. But I don't know. It's like, it's a little bit cathartic, like taking it all out, kind of setting it up. It's like you do with like toy soldiers, right? You set up your toy soldiers, you go, yeah, that's cool. And then you just put them all back in the box.
That's a major part of any of these hobbies.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah.
Is the scheming and the looking at stuff, scheming and planning and preparing and one day this is gonna be sweet. Oh man, look at this guy.
Someday I'm gonna roll these dice and it's gonna count for something.
She's got her hand puppet, she's got her spell book, and she's got that crazy face on. Oh yeah, look at that.
Does one of those wizards have a hand puppet?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a gingerbread man hand puppet. It's like It's incredible. The bits on this are amazing, and like the sharpness, the crispness of the detail really is good. So this is just a kit I've heard about for years. I know Black Magic Craft, Jeremy, has done a little bit of Frostgrave stuff on his channel. A couple of years back, he was on a little bit of a kick with it. And that's one of the few times I've ever seen any of these kits. I think he worked with like the Cultist kit for a video, but
also very good.
Yeah, this has got to be somewhere in my list of videos to make eventually. Best plastic kit ever.
I mean, it sells itself, right? Like, it's not overly expensive. It's got way too many bits. I mean, I guess it goes to show how like inexpensive technically it is to like manufacture good sprues. They just have to be designed well. Like, come on. I
think I might use the word benchmark in my video.
I like that. That's good.
The new benchmark for plastic sprues. That's not actually new. It's 4 years old, but I'm just figuring it out now.
Like, it's new to you.
but for real, as like a single sprue, like, try to do better than this.
Sure.
Look at how much they got on there. Look at how much detail is here. Look at the reasonable price tag on this. Do better than this. Yeah.
I'm trying to honestly think of if there's anything that I have ever opened where I've been like, wow, this is actually pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Nothing really comes to mind. Like, not like frameworks or anything. Like, those bottles, I don't think hold a candle, But like,
that's the thing, because part of the reason I finally went on Amazon to find this Frostgrave Wizards 2 kit is because some of the comments that I was getting on the frameworks video I did was like, meh, go get some Frostgrave models. They don't say D&D on them, but they work for D&D, and they're way better.
Yeah.
And actually, that I really should just make a video as like a benchmark instructional manual for anybody thinking of making plastic sprues.
Yeah.
Like if you're making a plastic sprue 5 years after Frostgrave Wizards 2 came out, you try to not regress. Yeah.
I mean, maybe
try to push things forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. They should. You'd think that like you'd be up on that if you're in the industry and you're making sprues. I mean, we saw some pretty good sprues at Adepticon and Gamma, and I thought like, wow, okay, there's some actual like sprue competition going on. But like, then you showed me these ones, and it's kind of like, how long have these been out? Like, that seems ridiculous. Like, why aren't people talking about this more? It does seem kind of weird because like they're jam packed. It's insane.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna be picking some up just to have the extra bits. Like I don't play Frostgrave, but having 28mm slightly heroic scale extra bits, like just that human heads alone.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
And it has the classic attachment points. The shoulders are just cut off at the torso, a vertical cut at the torso.
So I could put orc arms on those wizards and it would work.
Sort of. I mean,
they're flat.
Put a potion in one hand and a giant orc arm in the other. It'll make sense. It makes sense.
I mean, it does make sense, right? You got your Jekyll Hyde mage over here with a giant, arm.
Exactly.
I'm so in for this. Yeah.
Yeah. And the neck joint is like the hollowed out neck, the ball socket neck joint.
Right.
And perfect.
That's still pretty classic, the ball socketed neck.
And honestly, as far as just a variety of female heads go, this is probably the best source of those. Like, you can go and find Etsy stores selling female heads, and for the price of one of these sprues, that's still probably the best way to get a variety of female heads, is just one of these sprues.
Well, I think the important distinction is that those are actual plastic models, like GW plastic, like all the plastic that you actually know and want to use. So it's not, you go on Etsy and you get 50 female heads for $5, but they're all like 3D printed.
Yeah. I can't remember where I ordered them from, but I do have a couple of packs of like metal heads. Again, just small production runs, and
sure.
It's okay, but they're metal, so yeah.
They're metal, yeah. I mean, it's still gonna lead to a problem, like one way or another. If there's mold lines, you got to deal with that, whether it's resin or metal or plastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just want to work with plastic, so yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Have you come to learn anything powerful in the last couple of weeks here, Casey? What do you have to bring to the party? Yeah.
Oh man. Nothing like that. Okay. Nothing like that.
People are turning off the podcast, Casey. They're leaving. We're going to see a dip.
I highly doubt
it goes downhill from here. I started too strong with the best
Brent's
sprue
intro,
ever.
and then like in the next hour and 20 minutes, it's just never mind. Got the hot tip from Brent. I guess we're moving on.
All right. Perhaps Brent has more hot tips though, so keep listening.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I kind of came to a little bit of a revelation when I was making my last video. I bought this orc army for pretty cheap, and I've been working on that. I painted up 20 different brutes. In this kind of like red skin, blue war paint scheme, kind of rusty armor. Like, this is pretty fun. It's very simple. But I was like looking through kind of like building this army out, and I was looking at all the options out there and kind of like going through the GW website and some of the other stuff, and just realized that like the Iron Jaws orcs have like 4 units or 5 units or something. They're like the most basic army build that you can get. And I was just thinking, like, some of the other armies that I actually really like are the same way. They're just like, well, we have this like amount of core units that makes up this army, and this is it. This is the army.
Big orc, medium-sized orc, orc riding pig, boss orc, wizard
basically.
Orc. Boom.
Yeah, and wizard orcs. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what it is, right? Like, there's not a lot of variety, but then again, like the rules as written in the book give it more flavor, give it more variety. Like, the units do certain things and they make sense. So I don't know, like I've just been kind of having this thought that like building a simple army, whatever game you want to play, is probably just the better way to play the game. Like, there are complicated armies and complicated lists and all these things, but like somewhere deep down inside, you're always going to feel like, man, like I didn't maximize,
Well, there's something list, beautiful to it. There is.
Yeah. There is. Yeah. So simplifying, getting down to the base structure of something, I think is a feel good thing. And there just needs to be more of it in wargaming in general. I mean, most games they're going wide, right? Like, you got your kind of base units, but then it's like, oh, but we offer like 30 different types. Like, we got archers, we got ballistae, we got hand crossbows, we got longbows, and it's like, I don't know.
Yep.
Like, well, what? They all shoot 30 inches and they hit on 3s. I don't know what you want. Like, you just like, I mean, maybe it's a model selection because I like to paint that one better, but then again, what if there's some other dumb thing like, oh, but this one rerolls, 2s or something? It's like, I don't know.
I do understand that it simplifies everything. It simplifies your choices in buying. It keeps you from buying way too much. It simplifies your choices in list building. Yeah, no, I can appreciate that. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. So I've just been kind of pondering that. I ended up making the video about that specifically.
Yeah.
Some people took it a little weird. They thought I meant like painting it simply, but I didn't.
Well,
but whatever. That still applies.
Use precise language, man. You gotta.
I mean, I did, but that's fine. Whatever. I think it's because some people don't watch, the whole thing.
No, they do not.
Take things like one way or whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, even in that respect, like, having a simple paint scheme gets you to paint an army. Like, I'm mostly done with this army at this point. Like, I've got 25 brutes, a maw crusher, and like some other small stuff, and it's like, that's most of the army. I'm almost done. I'm on like army number what, two or three for this year? I don't even remember.
Absolutely incredible. One day I will finish painting an army and I will play a game of Warhammer or whatever with my friends.
Yeah.
One day, 20-year quest. But,
I mean, you could do it in one day. Like, I finished the 20-year quest in one afternoon. Like, come on, man.
On my continuing mission, yeah.
20-year mission. We're deep into enemy territory. I haven't painted a model in 4 weeks.
Hey, I've actually been painting. I'm getting a little bit of stuff done, but...
Yeah, I see you working on them Dark Eldars.
Yeah, I was doing some scheming. I do have some friends who are wanting to play some 40k, so maybe I'll finally paint some Dark Eldar. Like, we'll see. I've got some other stuff that I'm very interested in.
Sure. Oh yeah. No, and I get you. I mean, do you have anything finished
for what?
Any game?
I technically could play a game of 40k using 3rd edition Dark Eldar. On the old Raider, like I could make it happen. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to make sure that you're like, you got something.
Yeah. Yeah. I could put a very obnoxious army on the table that I think actually would do fairly well if I knew how to play it. But yeah.
Well, that's beside the point. Like nobody cares about that. Yeah.
No,
like it's whether you can put it on the table that counts. It's not whether you can play the game.
My friends have been very annoyed by my 6 raiders, all with as many dark lances as they can carry, and
no, that's like tournament spam right there. That's good stuff.
I don't do the thing where all 6 of the raiders hide behind a rock, but like it is just which one of my identical units do you want to shoot at? They are all very efficient for points.
Right. They're all carrying 40
The amount of
models.
armor-piercing weaponry per point on these models is very high, and it doesn't matter which one you kill. And I color-coded them. Are you attacking the blue raider? Please.
I mean, I do like that.
Alex, please be specific. Are you attacking the yellow or the blue raider? Thank you. Okay. Well, I'll roll a save. We got a flicker field here. We got a shadow field. Oh, you missed. Sorry, buddy. It's a very stupid and annoying army from what I remember playing it 3 years ago. Yeah.
I mean, it might still be. I know the Dark Eldar were the hotness for a minute there. I don't know if they still are. I mean, who knows these anymore?
I think they're still fine. It don't matter. This is all ethereal. By the time you listen to this podcast, all of this information will be out of date and irrelevant.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Well, this day in history, orc players are lamenting. Tomorrow, who knows? Like, I don't know.
The future is unwritten.
Oh man, that kind of bothers me. Like, I hate the ups and downs of people. Like, oh man, this army's so bad now, and I hate this, and I gotta get rid of this. And it's like, man, like, how you spend time on that? You spend time painting those models. I don't understand. Like, I love having orcs.
That's what this hobby is for some people. So,
yeah.
This conversation comes up in a lot of places, but I heard it most clearly enunciated on the Independent Characters podcast, talking about the pillars of the hobby. And there's, do you like the lore? Do you like the collecting? Do you like assembling? Do you like painting? Do you like playing? And some people just really love to like read all the new rules and be like, hey, look what I can spend 2 command points on. Like, and
this thing
and
on page 487.
Cool. Enjoy thinking about that for the next 6 months before it just needs to leave your brain entirely. Yeah, that's cool.
Right,
cool,
before something else is better than
yeah. So this is something that's slowly settled in my mind. In terms of the pillars and what I enjoy most, I think I actually enjoy assembly more than anything. I think for me it goes assembly, painting, collecting, I don't know, like
okay.
And then like obviously reading rules is at the very bottom. Like I do not care what options you have for spending 2 command points on.
Man, it's weird. Like I want to care about that, Like when I get into it, when I buy a new codex or when I'm like getting ready to play, I'm like way into like what can I spend these last like little bits of things, or what do I need to do? But it's like the day before I'm gonna play whatever game where it doesn't actually matter anyways. Like because sure. We both or whoever I'm playing with we don't necessarily know even how to play properly as it is.
No.
So it's like it never actually really matters. But you know, it's like I don't know, it gets me a little bit excited like before going to do that. So I get the appeal to a certain extent. I don't know, like I hate building models.
Dude, there's something to it. It's so straightforward. Like there's no stress about picking out paint schemes. There's no like
I'll give you that, yeah.
I'm gonna regret making these guys red. There's none of that. There's I'm gonna change my mind about the color scheme of these guys tomorrow. None of that. These mold lines need to be scraped. I need to make a nice flush joint on here. I can line it up and like, oh yeah, that's lined up. Press that hard until it sticks. Like, oh, straightforward accomplishment. Stuff gets done. Yeah. Stuff gets done very slowly on my hobby desk. My hands just slow right down when I'm scraping mold lines. I get in the zone and I turn every piece over and over and over again, and I get every little bit. Sure. And then I find another mold line and I get right after it. But
yeah. Well, okay. Brent and I had a conversation last night for a couple hours, like in preparation for this episode. We usually write an outline, we do the stuff, right? How many models did you actually assemble out of the models that you had in front of you? 2 hours.
In 2 hours?
In 2 hours. Did you assemble
I actually made
anything?
Pretty good progress. I got the torsos and legs for 12 dwarfs together. I feel pretty good about that. I feel really good about that, actually. That was
just kill me now. Oh my god.
You did nothing during that time other than talk to me, and I'm just like, yep. Casey, just all zoomed in on this orc leg or dwarf leg. Yeah,
that is a fair point. I didn't actually get anything accomplished in that 2 hours other than, work for this podcast. But whatever, it's fine.
Other than draft up a very shoddy podcast outline with a
3-page, bulleted, structured list of things that we're planning on sort of maybe discussing for a couple hours.
Yeah. So we can segue here.
Sure.
Have you ordered some Conquest minis, Casey?
Actually, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a huge downer just now. Well, sort of. I did order a box of Conquest minis. I ordered a very nice starter kit that had 2 starter armies in them. I was very excited. About a week went by, and wouldn't you know it, but seller canceled the order and refunded it. Like, because they wanted to sell it for more money the next day.
Don't let him off that easy. Trains with a Z canceled Casey's order. You know how I know that so clearly? Because they canceled mine at the same time. They sold. Casey and I both bought the starter set for Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings, 2-player starter set. You got the 100 Kingdoms, which is humans in armor, and you got the Spire, which are
all the elitist
elf aliens or something.
Yeah.
Mutant,
something like that.
Clone, elf aliens.
I think clone is the key there. I don't know.
Look,
we would have known.
Had we gotten our shipment from Trains with a Z, we would have known what the Spire faction was from Conquest, but that didn't happen. So as soon as I got the cancellation, within a day, I went and ordered a few assorted kits for Conquest, and those did come in. But you and I were talking about this, Casey. We were excited for Conquest. Like we were.
I still am. Like I still have the feels,
Yeah. But we had a fun game, a fun demo game there at Adepticon, and we were talking and thinking about what faction we wanted to check out. Okay, we'll get this starter set, and then we'll go from there. And this is the first time in a long time that I've had that materialistic urge, this childlike need for a package to arrive so that I could tear into it. And here in adult years, we're just like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I'll order that. Oh, it came. Cool. It came in the mail. That is the vast majority of my shopping experience is like, I've been thinking about this. I should probably order that. Oh, it's here. Oh, yeah, it's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
But this for whatever reason, the need kicked in. They're like, oh yeah, I gotta get some Conquest minis. They're big. They're plastic. They're cool. I wanna see what these are all about. I want to put these together. And anyway, we had a little hiccup there. I did order some of mine, so I got some humans with armor. I got some dwarves, and I got some orcs. So yeah. I've been assembling those. That's where this is going.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I wanted to go back and look. There weren't any other like starter sets available through any other store at the time, so I didn't just immediately reorder another one, right?
Well, actually, Trains was selling that exact same starter set for $10 more, but Trains with a Z, despite that very high positive ranking, Trains with a Z cannot be trusted.
No, 500,000 sales.
Look, they sell a lot of train kits to people, but their skills at ordering Conquest, the Last Argument of King starter set.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It wasn't a good experience. I'm not happy with their service.
It's all right. I found a different seller and I bought some starter kits. Not some starter kits, some just random units.
Like assortments. Yeah, and see that's actually what I didn't want to do, because I've seen a few where it's like, oh, I've got some of this and some of that and a little bit of this over here. I got like a little box of it. And it's like, I don't want to like jump in and like I don't necessarily want to dabble in 5 different factions right away. I want to like go, okay, I like the look of this. I'm not going to care about rules. I'm not going to look into anything further. I want to just go straight off of how did these models make me feel when I look at them and buy those. So I'm waiting for some good deals on a couple things that I'm like excited about. And then I'm going to go from there. Now, like the Conquest on eBay stuff is not huge still. It's okay. I've got like notifications set up, so every day I get an email that's like, here's 5 new things just popped up today. And I'm like, okay, now I will be the first person to see these. Probably. So like, I'm just waiting for the right thing. We'll see how that goes. I'm really interested. I wish you luck. Yeah. I like them new undead models though.
Nice.
I have a feeling they're going to be like pretty popular though too. So it's like I'm trying to take that into account.
So yeah, Conquest right now, even with the new faction, is up to 6 total factions. Yeah. So that's something that's always in my mind too. Is like, okay, is everybody going to be playing this faction? Like the starter box has 100 Kingdoms and Spire. Is everybody just going to be playing those factions? Now there's orcs that ride dinosaurs. That's awesome. Is everybody just going to be playing that?
It seems like that would be the one, right? The orcs on dinosaurs.
Yeah. With only 6 factions, it's very easy to just get in your mind, oh man, everybody's going to have that. It's going to be mirror matches all day long if I ever find people to play with. Yeah.
Sure.
But I actually think I think you're safe going with the undead Roman legionaries or whatever they're called.
And that's basically what they look like, right?
It's cool.
Sweet.
It's cool.
They're sweet.
I think you're okay on that one. That one. But yeah, no, I did want to dabble. So I was having a hard time choosing what faction I was interested in. And so I bought some humans, some dwarfs, and some orcs, and I've been putting them together. And I gotta be honest, there were some disappointing moments in assembly there. So
sure.
The sprues committed a sin. So this is Conquest has polystyrene sprues, but
do we need like a sprue calculator
sprue,
for points? Is this like a hobby rating system thing? We need like a sprue calculator?
I almost think there should be, because I could think up a rubric from this, and they got a major box was either checked or unchecked. Within a single sprue, they had duplicates that should not be there. Okay. Right. So a typical box is 12 models, 12 infantry models. And they do it like 3 sets of 4 in terms of bases. So the bases, it's circular bases, but they fit nicely into little circular cutouts on square bases. And so there's stands, I think they're called. A stand is 4 models, 4 infantry models.
Basically like a movement tray.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
If that helps.
Yeah. Little movement tray, so you get 3 sets of 4, 3 movement trays of 4 minis. You get it.
Yes.
You get it.
Yes.
That's like a kit. 12 models, whatever. Oh boy,
rank and file. Think of.
Just digging a hole here. Do you understand, Casey? 12
like,
models.
Either I can help you or
4.
I can help you dig it. I'm not sure which I should do right now.
Is everybody clear? 12
models. That's 3 separate squares next to each other in a rank.
But if you put the 3 squares next to each other, then it's 6 on the front and 6 on the back.
Right.
So
that's if they wheeled 90 degrees. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, using that terminology. Come on now.
Yeah. Okay.
Bring it back. Bring it
back.
All right.
Where am I?
12 models.
Okay. So, for example, the humans with armor, we got 12 models in a box set up in 2 sprues of 6 models. Okay. Now, the sin is that they're 2 identical sprues. Fine. That's very common. Frostgrave, one of the best sprues I've ever seen. It's 2 of the best sprues I've ever seen in a box. I'm fine with that. That's fine.
Right. Like the 4 bodies or the 4 bodies are technically duplicates, but they're 4 individual bodies, right?
Yeah. And yes, they're on this sprue from Frostgrave. Nothing is duplicated. There's 20 different heads, 4 different bodies. There's like 30 different arms. There's like a cat and a rat and whatever. No duplicates.
Yeah. Right.
But on some of those Conquest sprues, there are duplicates. So on a sprue that needs to have 6 pairs of legs and 6 torsos, there are 3 different torsos and 3 different pairs of legs. And when you're ranking them all up, that means that there's 1 set of legs with doing like a left lunge, 1 set of legs doing like a right lunge, and 1 guy's standing up straight. And you can see that, like it's visible, like it sticks out in the eye. And I think part of the reason it's so visible is because it is humans. Like our eyes are trained a little bit better to perceive humans, and if they're looking a little bit wonky, or if it looks like 1/3 of them are doing one thing and 1/3 of them are standing up straight.
The uncanny valley for like anything that's too human is definitely apparent. You know right away if something isn't quite right on a human, right? Yeah. As soon as you start getting away from that, then it's like, okay, well, who knows?
Yeah. So in any war game, like it's assumed that you're gonna have a lot of models, probably, that you're going to have multiples of each sprue, like even just in one small unit of 12 figures, you have 2 of the same sprue in the box. Like that's assumed, like that's reasonable. Like it is what it is. But for each one of those sprues to have duplicates, that does not make me happy. Not at all. And especially it's like tragic because the price of setting up a polystyrene steel mold is expensive. Like that's why not more companies, more companies don't use polystyrene. And the fact is that they're then cheaping out on the price of like reposing a set of legs. Like you can't like add a knee pad and an extra strap
wonder,
to like a different
couldn't you 3D if you're sculpting it in 3D? Like, can't you mirror that at least? Like, give me a mirror. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I got to do.
Pay your sculptor for an extra couple days of work. Give him an Amazon gift card as like a thank you for working over the weekend, and get him to make you 3 more pairs of legs. Put that on the sprue. Spend your tens of thousands of dollars to mass produce that sprue.
Right.
And then you got worth it. Yeah.
It might be interesting to find out like what the actual deal was, because there has to be a story behind that, right? It's like there's no legitimate reason not to, like, if you're gonna put that kind of money into making a sprue, because like legitimately polystyrene master, like the molds are really expensive. That's why boxes cost so much. It's not the fact that plastic is cheap. It's the fact that the molds are so expensive.
Right, exactly.
And the premium, whatever. That, we're not going to get into that. But generally speaking. Like that's a big part of what goes into a cost for a box. So on the front end of it, why wouldn't you spend the extra, maybe a few $1,000s at like the most to have a little bit different version of like some legs?
Right, exactly.
Like, why are there duplicates on the same sprue? I get having a sprue and then another sprue that's kind of, it's the same sprue. Because you're like, oh, we're just including 2 of these in the box because value. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, we can fit 2 of these in the box, no problem. Yeah.
Sure. That's like a different kind of a thing. We're not really talking about that, especially with the Frostgrave thing, because it's like, yeah, there are 4 wizards. And then you could make another 4 because they're basically 2 boxes in 1 box. Right. That's the idea with that.
Right.
What we're talking about is on the same exact sprue, there are duplicates of the same bodies. Not like the sprue is now, there's like another sprue that's the same. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the same sprue. So why? It has to be an interesting story, and it would be interesting to find out sometime.
So other companies are guilty of this too. I know like Warlord Games, some of their... trying to think, like I've definitely seen their British soldier, like their redcoat sprue. I've seen their Roman sprue, and there are duplicates of the same sculpt on the sprue. And again, that's, what are you doing? Like what?
Yeah.
And you're right. Like let's hear them out. I am curious about the answer. But on the other hand, as a consumer, you know what? As a consumer, I don't care. Put every bit on a sprue should be different, except for Space Marine backpacks. They all have to be the same. Space Marine helmets
specifics,
mostly are the same. Space Marine backpacks all need to be the same. But if you're talking about some medieval pikemen or whatever, the ones lunging forward shouldn't all be identical. They shouldn't all have the same knee pad for all the ones that are lunging forward.
The lunging guys are all like, they're training together. I want to just buy 6 of those to put in front. So they're all left leg forward lunge pikes, and they're all the same. We're like, one of those Olympic swimming teams, but we're piking people.
So, and I'm trying to tell myself that, okay, like it's arranged in lines. Like the front line can be the ones lunging forward. The back line is formations
like that,
and the fighting stances. But that still doesn't exclude everyone who's lunging on their left leg has the same knee pad, and everyone lunging on their right leg has like their belt sticking out at exactly the same angle. Like, it's not great.
There's no narrative way to like explain that away, right? It's you just didn't do it. That's all. Yeah. You just didn't.
So, you know what? I think we're going to use our small Paint Bravely voice in this hobby community to congratulate companies that make plastic sprues with no duplicates, and we're going to call out a company that just gets lazy and puts duplicates of the same chest piece on there. Give one of the guys a frilly shirt. Come on, give him a sweet V-neck. Do something there. Make one of them pudgy. You got 6 on a sprue. One of them's got a little bit of a gut. That's fine. Like,
I mean, why not? Why not? If you're paying a sculptor to sculpt something up, like a little bulge button in that 3D program, I know it exists. So, I know it's there.
Yeah, and again, the cost of sculpting the torso bit, like once you've already have the design of the overall models, the putting some variants on 3 of the torsos, that's a couple days of work for, not even a couple days of work for a sculptor.
I have no idea.
You will make that money back.
Right.
And if you don't spend that money, Brent's going to be complaining about it for hours and hours of podcast time. And do you really want that?
Right. Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay, I'm going to stop complaining about that now. I am still excited for Conquest. I got to say, like, I was a little bit disappointed overall with the 100 Kingdoms. Like, some of the humans looked a little bit derpy, and especially if there were, like, duplicates of derpy-looking humans. Okay.
Sure.
Like we were talking about, I've put in the dwarves together, and I'm feeling better about the dwarves.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was noticing the sprues, like Conquest is a new game. The oldest sprues were from 2019. The orcs are from 2021. The undead that you're talking about are from 2022. And looking at the sprues, they made a lot of progress over a couple of years. Like the individual bits look a lot better every year. And so I am excited to see where that goes. Going to keep applying pressure with, hey, don't repeat bits on the same sprue, especially if you're putting 2 of the same sprue in a box. If I get 12 minis and 4 of them all have a ridiculous lunge.
Like they're going in the back and I'm spreading them out. I can't have that.
Yeah. I don't know what to do about that. But anyway, moving on.
I will, just as a last thing, I will report back if I end up getting that Old Dominion box, and if there are duplicates, whatever, we'll find out. So yeah. Another thing I did this week is I bought into a Kickstarter. Another Kickstarter, yeah. So Chimera paints, those like whatever the pure pigments I think they call them. Cool looking paints. I like good paints, and I could always use some more. Probably not, but whatever. But yeah, I bought like the base set and I think the expansion and like one of the other specialty sets or some such. But fulfillment isn't till like February of next year.
Okay.
Which is, it's not horrible for a Kickstarter, but man, that's so far away.
Do you want that need? You got the urge? Like you want it, don't you?
I mean, I want it because they're doing the FOMO thing of like, hey, we're not doing a backer kit for this. We're not gonna, we're not doing add-ons or extra stuff when it ends or doing anything extra. It's like, no, you buy it now. We're gonna make that much and ship it, and that's what we're gonna do. And it's like I commend them a little bit for that, because it's like they're not opening a storefront and just hoping to get like repeat stuff and more and then make it once they feel like they've made enough money, right? And not that everybody does that, but it's kind of what it feels like when you buy into that, and it's like, oh well, I guess they're gonna let their back end go for 6 months and then start production or something. You know what I mean? I don't know how that all. It seems like that's how it is, because it takes years to get that stuff. But
who knows?
Like doing the campaign, ending it, and saying, "All right, we're getting to work." Like that's a feel good kind of thing. So that's partially why I kind of wanted to just like jump in and get the sets. There's a real good teal in there that I was like, I can't help myself. Like I just want it.
There you go. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
I understand. You okay? I was wondering a little bit, like, why is Casey buying more paints? Casey has a lot of paints. I know you have a lot of paints. You didn't mention the teal. I understand now. Okay,
you get it. All right, we'll see.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
February 2023 can't come soon enough. You know what I'm saying?
I need it. You know what I'm really looking for? Something that's, because like I really like probably my favorite color, right, to paint with, and that I've used a lot. It's called Incubi Darkness. You might know a little something about that, But,
dark teal. I understand.
Right, dark teal. Yeah, right. It's amazing. It's a very good color.
Dark sea green, if you will.
It's very similar. Similar. Although I don't. I've never actually used that dark sea green. That might be one to try. But
I gotta try it. But I think it might be slightly lighter than Incubi Darkness. Anyway, continue.
I like it. I like Incubi Darkness because of its darkness. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good, like, rich dark color, and it goes down nicely, like pretty good in like 1.5-ish coats kind of thing. It doesn't take much. Usually one coat will do it. So like I like that. I like airbrushing with it. It's good over white. It's good over black. And I'm looking for more of that somewhere. Some kind of a good variant of that. You say this dark sea?
Maybe it's a Vallejo bottle color.
Okay.
Paint. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it could be it. Be it.
That'll be good.
But yeah, that Chimera's got some stuff in there. They've got that like teal and some dark teal. Like I'm always looking for that in a set. Those teals and The dark one specifically, I haven't been able to replace. Now, I did eventually replace, like, the Rhinox hide from Games Workshop with Arbuckle's brown from Scale 75. That's like my go-to base, amazing brown color that I use for everything. But yeah, if anybody knows a good dark teal, hit me up. Throw down them comments.
Perfect. So, what paint set Kickstarter is just starting to be delivered now?
I can guess.
What were you going to say?
I know the answer, so I'll just say it's the Duncan paints.
Yes, correct. Nailed it. Got it. So Casey and I, we were at the Gamma convention. We sneakily got our early copies of the Duncan paints. We did our little review videos, and then there were a lot of people wondering, okay, well, you have these paints, but when are stores going to have them? And more importantly, like, are the Kickstarters, the supporters, the pledgers, are they going to get them before stores? And yes, they are. And it sounds like they're mailing out maybe the smaller orders first, but I've started to see some social media posts of people getting their Duncan paints in the mail. And so I am interested to see what other folks have to say. This has come up for me a few times recently, but it's fun to get early samples of upcoming products. Like, I enjoy that. That's cool. But at the same time, I get like really curious how the rest of the world feels about something. So we were both like, oh, these paints are pretty good. These bottles might not be great, but the paints are pretty good. Wish there was a teal in this set. Like, we had our opinions, and then nobody else has them to review, so we don't get to see what anybody else thinks. And so, I've been like typing in searches every day now just to see if any new reviews are going to come out, because I'm really curious to see, what other folks will do with them.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And of course, on that same note, WizKids frameworks finally got released. Like they started sending out samples to folks other than me, and then eventually me, like months and months and months back, like 6 months back.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah,
like
it's been a while.
Yeah,
because they made a few models specifically to send out as very early reviews. Like that was part of their plan. But then the main line did get delayed by several months, presumably because it's made in China. I don't know. Maybe that was why. But anyway, it's as of this recording, WizKids Frameworks has been in local stores for more than a week now, and there are no new reviews about it. So I'm just driving myself nuts because I'm like multiple times a day I'm searching Google, I'm searching YouTube, WizKids Frameworks. Like, I really want to see other reviews. I want to see what other folks are doing with these bottles. There's just nothing. And so
that's a bit odd for like a brand new release. I mean, it's in a space that a lot of people generally do reviews, right? Like D&D minis are pretty huge on YouTube generally.
We've kind of talked about this before though, but they're surprisingly not huge on like D&D is huge on YouTube.
Okay, sure, I'll give you that.
Like DM problems is huge on YouTube. One. Like that's if you want to make like a viral Twitter post, just be like, hey, my face when I DM and my player does this, and then you get a viral Twitter post, and then like, I don't know, it's a whole community.
Try that.
But yeah, in terms of mini painting, Warhammer is by far the king of mini painting, and then it's kind of shocking how little attention D&D gets. So it's not super surprising that, new mini line, it's been out for 10 days now, and there hasn't been anything posted about it, except for there was one short. I found one YouTube short of just some random person. It's got 10 views, and it's just a dwarf warrior, and it's like a shot of the dwarf warrior, and then the text pops up on the screen. Why does this cost $15?
Oh man! Oh no! All right,
that has been the only
other
piece
video
of media that's come out in the last 10 days since this product line has been released. It's just one brutal, but at least unviewed YouTube short. Yeah.
It's 10 views. It's okay. That's fine.
Two of them are me.
Ladies, right? Because you had to watch it a second time. You're like, I gotta watch this again. It's so good.
I'm searching D&D frameworks multiple times a day. I'm searching WizKids frameworks multiple times a day. And it's just like, this is still the only thing on here. Click again.
Click it again. You know what? I'll give you one. I'll give you another one. Oh man.
But
I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I hope other people come out with it. Like, I want to see. I mean, they're good quality models. At least I want to see people paint them.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a joke, but I want to see at least one other person paint those kobolds. Like,
I'd love to see that. Yeah.
I want to hear somebody say, like, I know they're expensive, but they're kobolds, and I love kobolds, and we're buying kobolds. Or
I feel like that's who they're made for.
See somebody be like, I love kobolds. This is. Like, price is not an object, or like, I love kobolds, and for these kobolds, this is a steal for these kobolds. Right. Look at this little guy. He's holding a scorpion. Do you see this little guy? Like,
exactly. I mean, that's a sweet looking model, right? There's no reason that I mean, come on. Although, you know what? The Frostgrave dragons, like in armor, that's legit. They look like kobolds, and they're like $10.
Ooh.
And they got more than 7 bottles, my friend. They got a whole sprue of stuff. All sorts of stuff.
That's so brutal. But now I want to see review from somebody who is finally able to buy these kobolds. I want to see the person who's just been mad at me for 2 months and has been like, I'm gonna buy these kobolds and make them look awesome and show up the internet. I want to see that. I want to see that video.
I do too. I love that.
I also want to see some more people complaining about those kobolds. I'd love to see that video too. But
God, man, Brent's up all about the drama with these kobolds.
But yeah, so man, just a little bit disappointed. If you get some Duncan paints in the mail, I wanna see those all over socials. Same with if you go into your local game store and your poor store owner is left holding the bag with just racks and racks of Frameworks minis. Just do him a favor, buy one of them, and put it on the internet.
Probably should. Man, I've been meaning to make a trip to my local game store because I know they have Conquest. And I feel like if I go there, that I'll probably just end up picking up something. You know what I mean? Yeah, like it's been kind of cool. Like the community's been growing a little bit. Like I joined a Discord. Like I just got this like random thing that popped up in my feed on Facebook. It was like, oh hey, we're starting a Conquest Discord for this area, and I was like, oh, I'm in. Right, I'm in. So far, nothing's happened from that group, but you know. We'll figure it out. It'll be good.
It'll happen.
But yeah, like I haven't checked the store in a while, so I wonder if they actually have the Frameworks. And I mean, I know that the Duncan paints are shipping out soon. I don't know if they ordered any. I haven't asked them yet because I'd be curious to know if they did. I would imagine that they would have, but you never know. I don't know. Something I need to do. Definitely take a trip to your local game store. I'm gonna be like Brent for once and give you permission to go buy something fun. Just go do it.
Nice.
Just do it. Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna second that, Casey. You've all been working hard.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you live in the U.S. You just got a tax refund. Maybe
that's possible.
Yeah. Maybe you didn't, but you've been like extra good this year.
You didn't get one. You had to pay the government, but you know what? You should go ahead and buy yourself something nice too.
Yeah, if you're going to be out all that money, you ought to get some kobolds too. Be out all that money and get some kobolds.
If you're out that money, just start the write-offs early. Just start buying stuff now. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. I just had to pay the government, $500. Or
$500.
you just had to pay $550 and you got 7 kobolds. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Is there much of a difference? But you got kobolds? I don't know.
Right. And
maybe not.
Look, are these arguments solid? No. Are Casey and I giving you permission to go, buy a little present for yourself? Yes.
Yes. 100% yes.
Yeah. So, shop bravely. Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point. What else we got on the agenda today? I know we had some stuff.
Man, I pulled out some models that I hadn't worked on for a while, my Relic Blade models. We talked about this before. We went to Adepticon, we got all jazzed up about a bunch of games again. Relic Blade was one of those games for me. And it's been 6 months ago at this point, but I started painting some Relic Blade models.
Right, it's been a while.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is when I first got the Pro Acryl paints, and I did something pretty stupid, which was I tried to batch paint 14 completely different models.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see how. Yeah. All right, let's get into this. Batch painting.
Batch painting entirely different models. Okay. So I did want to talk about this a little bit. It sounded almost like a good idea to me. Okay, so here's the plan. Let me lay it out for you.
All right, lay this plan out. Let's see.
Yeah, I've got my new set of Pro Acryl paints. I haven't tried them yet. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's try this camo green. I'm going to put a little on this figure. We'll make these pants green. This cloak will be green. And, okay, that'll be it. You got it on a couple of models. Then pull out a blue. Then pull out a yellow. And so the idea is just going through, pick 3 or 4 models for each color to get a splash of color on. And actually, that for a little while, that's kind of efficient. And then you reach a point where you've kind of gone through most of the colors. Mm-hmm. Your minis are mostly base coated, kind of. They're half done, but then you're then it gets real hard. That's when it gets real. So I maintain that it was kind of efficient up until that point, but then it's okay, I have 14 half done minis here, and the logical thing to do at this point is to pick 1 or 2 of them, say these are the first ones that I'm going to finish painting, and to do that. But I was having a really hard time picking. Sure. Because I've got all these minis out in front of me, all partially done, and it was I couldn't be you and you, and so I just had it all half done on my desk. And so for a while, I was making progress on all of them, picking one up, putting in some eyes, picking one up, whatever. Mm-hmm. And anyway, I got back to work on them. I actually put them all back on my desk again, and it started doing it again. Just I'm gonna black line all of them.
No, come on.
I'm gonna touch up the camo green on all of them. And man, this is a mud pit. It's just a bad idea. It's stupid. It was worth a try. It's important to paint bravely and to try new things. But
there's such a thing as painting too bravely. Flying bravely. Too close to the sun. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Anyway, I was finally able to put about half of them back in the cupboard, concentrate on 7 of them. I actually have 2 that are very close to done right now. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. Mm-hmm.
That's not, got
batch
a couple.
Painting entirely different minis, man, this is not a good idea. It's stupid. It was a bad idea.
I'm seeing these things just continually keep adding up for me as to why you don't have a fully completed, cohesive, done army. Because even the Dark Elder, you're talking 7 different colors, right? A solid color scheme is the basis of batch paint, right?
Man, I've got plans up here. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You got all the plans. You gotta parse those plans. You gotta put them into an order, step-by-step arrangement, and you gotta execute. Right.
Okay. So
I just finished painting 25 brutes.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And
I know.
Very specific
why it is good to
plan.
Paint simple armies. Yeah, I got it. I saw that video, Casey. Yeah.
This paint scheme wasn't simple. The army was simple. I mentioned that.
I swear to you, many of my Relic Blade models are approaching completion. They're like, I am close to being like done, varnish, and that is going to be a wonderful moment. But wow, did I dig myself a stupid hole by trying to batch paint different minis? It is stupid.
For sure.
It was dumb. Yeah,
for sure. No, I mean, I get the idea behind it. Can I make a suggestion as to how to improve that?
Please.
Okay. So if you want to batch paint like that, get yourself a wet palette.
Right.
Because at least if you've laid out all these colors, you can have them and you can access them, and you don't have to like do one entire thing of that color and then, I'm going to go back and do this other little thing. Like they're all just there for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I will say that I had several good sessions in there. There were several good multi-hour sessions where I was making serious progress, and I was doing exactly that. I had a bunch of colors on my wet palette, and but the thing is, with so many minis, like spread across 14 minis, it's not that much progress per mini.
Sure.
Nothing's really getting done still. You're just sinking more and more time into this group without a single one of them being done. And
I mean, that just kind of feel bad at the end of the day, right? Like,
yeah,
nothing
that's
is
why
done.
They got put it back in my cupboard for a while, and that's why, like, even once I got it back out again, I've put many hours into work into them without quite finishing one. But I'm close now. I'm actually pretty close on a couple, and maybe then I'll finally be able to be like, you're next, and I'm gonna finish you. Like once I'm actually at the end, I'd be like, I'm gonna finish you, varnish you, get you off of my desk forever. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's generally why people are like, if you're gonna batch paint, don't do like more than 5. Like 5 is a good number, because realistically, like if you think about the amount of time that you have when you sit down to paint, maybe it's like a couple hours, right? And that's like a long, good amount of time. Like a model, if you're quick. And I mean, like, you've been doing it for a while and you know exactly how you want to paint something, like, you're still going to end up taking 45 minutes, probably, per model. And that's if you are very quick. Yeah. So, like, you got to start to, like, think about that, right? It's like, how much actual time per model are you going to be spending? It's going to be a couple hours, right? So you had, what, 14?
Yeah, so that's 28 hours.
28 straight up hours, yeah.
And especially since every model's different, we'll call it 3 hours each. So that's 42 hours. Yeah. And
yeah. So you doing a couple hour sessions, like you're not making a dent.
Painting a fair bit during a week, putting 10 hours in a week. They go from, not done to still not done. And just put those back in the cupboard. Like
exactly. That's the kind of thing though, like that I think a lot of people who start painting like don't realize. Like especially when you're young in it, right? I don't mean age, you know what I mean. You're gonna take time to paint those models, and like if you're painting 4 or 5 models and they're all different, like it's gonna take you some serious time, which is fine. Like, it obviously takes time to get to the point where, like, you just know how things are going to go, right? So, keep that in mind if you're planning on batch painting a bunch of stuff, unless it's, like, basically the same thing, right? Like these brutes that I did. Like, I had a solid plan laid out, and they're basically all the same model. So, it's like I kind of already knew how much time it's going to take, and it ended up taking about that much time. I think I did the 20 in like 6 hours. It wasn't that bad.
Just 20 in 6 hours.
They look pretty good too.
Good for you, Casey. Good for you.
No, I'm just saying. Okay, I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm just saying that like that's all of basically the same model, right?
Not to just Mecca. Yeah. Did 20 models in 6 hours.
Look. Yeah, if you want to see somebody who, I don't know if he's lying or not. I don't think he is. Like paints like to an incredibly high standard in the shortest amount of time. Like I don't even understand. Like Marco Frazzoni is, I don't get it. I don't get how that happens I watched that video and I go, I don't follow. This doesn't make sense. It's not real.
Very talented, yes.
Yeah, to say the least. But yeah. So the point is just to start to calculate up those hours, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like having
biting
that
off more
system.
than you can chew is
Right.
Classic mistake. Mistake.
And it can discourage you. Yeah.
One of the other batch painting projects that's been in that same cupboard for a year now is 15 Chaos Nights. Wow. Okay. One Chaos Night has a lot of filigree, let me tell you that. So my batch painting of 15 of them, while technically efficient, has been on hold for a long time right now. But
you're talking about
if I finish up these relic plates, maybe I'll get back to the nights. We'll see. I mean,
but dude, you're so close to finishing that army
too. So close. Finishing that army. Oh my goodness. You have no idea.
Why, is it closer than I think, or is it farther than I think? Because either way.
So much farther.
Why? I thought you had like you had like a 1,500, 2,000. How many points did you have in that? You're talking about the Goobertown Yellow, right?
No. That's a whole different thing. Look, I'm
talking about
Casey,
playable.
Let me finish 2 Relic Blade minis first, and then let me finish the rest. Let me finish 5 more Relic Blade minis, and then I'll be able to play some Relic Blade.
I need to paint my starter for Relic Blade. How many models are in that starter? Like 15, 14?
8.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the 4 good guys, 4 bad guys.
Cool. I'll bust those out tomorrow. It's no big deal.
6 hours. There you go.
6 hours for 8 minis? Sure, I'll do it. That's not bad.
Yeah. It's a good set, but it's like a 1 mini from each sub faction kind of thing. Yeah. So like for the 4 good guys, there's like 4 very different good guys, and the same with the bad guys.
Yeah, no, and I don't want to.
One pig man,
do that.
1 fish man, 1 insect man, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do that to these models. I really like these models, and I think they're worth taking a little bit of time to paint up. Especially, thinking about getting like a nice terrain set. I've been looking at the Relic Blade specific terrain set, which is like $150, but it looks so good.
It looks real good.
It looks real good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I want to invest in that a little more. Just trying to build out my skirmish stuff, because I don't know, I just really like skirmish stuff, like as a collector too. It's like cool to have these like short form rule books with all this extra stuff and models that go along with it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Maybe get you into some Frostgrave. Bring it back full circle.
That's the thing. I've had Frostgrave models like for years. I just literally haven't done anything with them. Like I said, kind of more on the collector's end of that, I guess. But man, I've been actually kind of on this weird mental collector's kick, and I haven't bought a lot, but I've been like organizing these things. So Warpfire Minis sent me like a Rogue Trader, like little pewter guy or whatever it was. And I thought it was just super cool. Like it's ridiculous. What kind of guy? It's some kind of space.
Is it a Rogue Trader, like a inquisitorial weirdo, or what?
No. It's like I'll take a picture of it and put it up on the podcast on the YouTube. But he's missing a backpack, so I got to find a backpack for him. But he's just so cool. And then I was like perusing eBay, of course, and I found this like old school Beaky Marine. And I was like, man, like, I don't understand. This just looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kind of started going down this rabbit hole of like saving all of these like models that I'm going to buy. And they're like all of these old Rogue Trader Space Marines. And I don't know why. They're just like calling to me right now. And some of them are not cheap.
There you go.
It's weird though. I did not think that this is gonna be a thing. Like I could care less about Space Marines, honestly. But this is like, well, these actually look really cool. Like these are different. These have character. Like this is a thing. It's like looking at the old orcs from back then. It's like they're all individual, right? They all had names. They all looked a little bit different. The like the hand sculpted nature of those old models is not the same. Even from Rogue Trader to like second edition, right? It's not, I don't know. There's something that got lost, I think, a little bit as the years went by. Yeah.
Get it back, Casey. Get it back. Claw it back.
I want to. I want to. You know, those new Beaky Marines are coming out, like the Primaris Beakies.
Cool.
It's sad.
Like I've got plenty of old style Beakies. Don't you worry about that. Yeah.
The
Do you think I went
ones
through that bits box at Adepticon and didn't pick out some Beak helmets? Like, yeah.
I didn't even see any, really. See, that wasn't even on my radar then. It wasn't even on my mind. I wasn't even thinking about it.
You need a lot of Space Marine legs in particular.
Oh, God.
You come to me.
Yeah, I know.
John and Scott, I think they mentioned it on their podcast about Adepticon, but we went to that bit box late at night
told that
when
story.
Nobody is there.
They
We
told
just
that story,
bogarted that whole bit box one by one. I think I got a few beaky heads. Mostly I got Space Marine legs, though, because never have too many of those.
Yes, you can.
Limiting reagent, Casey.
That's like saying that any part of a Space Marine is a limiting reagent. You just go buy a box of them. You're killing me.
There's always a couple extra arms. Like you can always find an extra missile launcher. You kidding me? Yeah.
That's probably, yeah.
You know.
I mean, that's true. There are like those extra bits, but there are only 20 legs. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just got 20 more legs for $10. You know what I'm saying? Like,
limiting reagents in this context is like the Great Unclean One kit that came out a couple years ago has like 3 separate options for weapons in both hands and 3 separate head options. The only actual thing that makes that kit is the body. If you can find the body, you can build another one.
Yes.
I've built 3 of them off of one kit so far. So, like, that is a limiting agent. I don't know that
some
Space Marine
wizards
legs
here.
count.
We got some wizards here. We got 4 torsos attached to legs.
The
we got like 20 heads. That's torsos and legs.
Reagent.
That is often the limiting reagent. Yeah.
You know, that would actually be a good part of the rubric for
That's
the
all
criteria.
I have to say about that.
Right, for the Sprue grade. Uh-oh. The internet breaking.
On that note.
Oh, no, we're still here.
On that note, yes.
No, the internet screwed up right when you were trying to finish this podcast.
Take us out, Casey.
I was going to, then you ruined it. I was going to say... I was going to say something. I forget. Thank you again for joining us on another episode of Paint Bravely. If you enjoyed this episode, please help us out by leaving us a review on iTunes, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and sharing this message with your hobby friends. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you next time.
No, but what I was going to say is limiting reagents. No, you leave it on. Limiting reagents should be a part of the rubric for grading sprues. How many do you get compared to the rest of it? He's gone. I don't care. All right, bye.